Welcome back to another informative and exciting episode of podcast where we cover everything cannabis and hemp. If you haven't subscribed yet to our channel, please do so, as this will help us sustain our channel. And remember to cannabis responsibly at all times. Welcome to another episode of podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be having a discussion with a cannabis pharmacist from THC Africa. THC Africa is actually the first cannabis pharmacy in South Africa. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. And yourself, Mo?
I'm very good. Thank you for asking. Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Brockelbank. I am a cannabis pharmacist, meaning that I am a qualified pharmacist, have been for the last 40 years. I then became interested in cannabis, and I am now working at THC Pharmacy as the cannabis pharmacist. So I register all the cannabis that comes in, do the prescriptions, and hand it over to be handed out. Yes.
Does one need a qualification to be obviously you do need a qualification, but does it change because you're a pharmacist? Do you then need to go change it to become a cannabis pharmacist, or you just continue with the certificate or degree that you have as a pharmacist?
Okay, so your background qualification would have to be a pharmacist, as in a registered pharmacist. But I would say you'd have to have an interest in cannabis, because there are courses that you can do, but that you do once you have qualified as a pharmacist. As of now, there is still no course for a certain cannabis pharmacist. So you have to first do the course and then let your interest take you. If you're interested in the cannabis, then you can, there are courses, as I say, that you can do, and then you can become a cannabis pharmacist. Yes.
Awesome. And then does one need to have knowledge on the different strains and the level of CBD and THC that is contained within the flower to be a cannabis pharmacist?
To a certain extent, yes. I think you'd have to know which are your sativas, which are your indicas, and what the people are using them for. Each strain that we get from the facility does come with a percentage THC and CBD in it. So you have access to those details, yes. But it's not something that I think you'd have to learn off by heart or anything like that, because each strain is different.
Yeah. And what is the legal quantity that a pharmacy can store on premises?
That depends on how many authorized Section 21s you have in the pharmacy. At the moment, our prescriptions allow for 120 grams a month.
Okay.
So that can be divided up to 4 grams a day.
Okay.
Or as long as they fetch not more than 120 grams in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 10 Section 21s approved and authorized, you are legally entitled to 10 times 120 grams, okay, which you are allowed to keep in the pharmacy. Sometimes the amount of Section 21s that we have exceeds the amount that we can keep on the premises. So we keep a certain stock, and then we draw from the facility as needed.
Oh, okay. And what is the legal cannabis quantity that the pharmacy can dispense on a daily basis?
There is no quantity.
There isn't?
No. To one person, or just out of the pharmacy?
Just out of the pharmacy on a daily basis?
No, there is no legal amount.
Oh, okay. And does your pharmacy store different types of cannabis products, or you just actually have the flower itself, or do you have different cannabis
No.
products?
The THC Pharmacy here itself is not just flower, cannabis flower. We've got edibles, we've got creams, we've got all sorts of other things. It's not only the flower that we sell here. There's vapes, there's all sorts of things, and as I say, there's we've got holistic supplements and mushrooms, and it's not only the flower. There are other products with cannabis in, but below the limit, so we can sell them over the counter, and they have been tested, and we have certificates for them. So there are other products, yes.
Oh, okay. And I was going to ask you, the next question I was going to ask you is, can one purchase cannabis products off the counter, or get cannabis products off the counter without a prescription? And I think you just basically answered the question now.
Yes, as long as they're below the legal limit, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
So from more than 2.2%, it has to be kept in the dispensary, and that has to be dispensed on a prescription. But lower than that, which we have a juice, we have chocolates, we have strips, we have fudge, which you can buy without a prescription.
Oh, okay. And what is the process that's required to store the flower so that it is still in good condition for your patients? Is there a process that you follow in making sure that the flower is still in good condition?
Well, as long as it's stored in an airtight glass container and it is kept in the dark, in a cool place, it will remain like that for a month or so, which gives us a time to turn around to make sure that we've always got fresh stock in the pharmacy.
Oh, okay. And how many strains do you have in your pharmacy? I can imagine you have a lot of strains because you are linked to Prof. De Beer's facility, cannabis facility. So how many strains do you guys have in the pharmacy?
At any one time, we try to keep between 9 to 12 strains.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so you have a choice. Choice as in what it actually does, and choice as in price. So there's no hard and fast ruling that it's all that amount, and it just depends. Yes.
Oh, okay. And do you guys also, obviously I would imagine that you do this, but just so that people are interested in coming through to the pharmacy and just obviously to obtain more knowledge on how your operations are, do you also provide knowledge in terms of what each strain does to people? Let's say one would come through and say, I've got anxiety, or another individual will say, I've got back pains. Do you then tell them this strain does this strain is for this purpose?
Yes, well, we do educate them like that. Okay. Although with the Section 21s, they do go through a doctor's consultation, but we can advise them as to which strains to take for what certain ailments they have, and just guide them that way, because there are like a lot of sativas and a lot of indicas, but they all have their own special place. Yes, we do have an education center here, which does, if you require information, or when the prescription is being dispensed, you can ask, and we will help you there.
Oh, okay, Danny. And what advice would you give to somebody who's interested in becoming a cannabis pharmacist?
Okay. I was a conventional pharmacist for 40-odd years.
Yeah.
And always in the back of my mind have always had this thing that there is a place for cannabis. Now that we are more involved in it, I can definitely say that there definitely is a place for this medicinal cannabis. I have seen it myself. I have taken it myself. And for people to encourage people to study pharmacy, to actually become a cannabis pharmacist, okay, they must do the normal, the normal straightforward pharmacy, but they have to have a love for the plant. It's not just a plant with a pretty flower. There's much more to this plant with a pretty flower.
Yeah.
And, we just have to try and educate people that it's not the bad plant that everybody makes it out to be. It has its good side. Yes, in anything, if you overdo something, you will have a reaction. But I definitely do see a place in the medical side for cannabis, and it can be used to treat people that have chronic conditions. And I have seen people that come in here and take it, and they come back and they say they cannot believe the difference. But I think people are scared, because when you talk to them about cannabis, they immediately think about smoking, getting high, falling over, going to sleep, that sort of thing. It's not about that at all.
Oh, that is awesome, Danny. Thank you for that. That's what we cannabis enthusiasts are always saying to individuals. So I think when it comes from a pharmacist, it hits home differently. I thank you so much, Danny, for bracing me with this time. And I miss you so much. I'll make time to come through and see you, Danny.
Yes, please do. Yes.
I will definitely do that. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and for answering all the questions that I've had.
No problem. Okay.
And on that note, please do remember to cannabis responsibly at all times. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, and share buttons below. We would also appreciate your comments. And remember to cannabis responsibly at all times.